Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, no worries. I heard from my dad that you've been super busy, so
Yeah, it's been crazy, crazy.
yeah,
So
that's fine.
I'm gonna share this with my students. So I'm recording this, and I
Okay.
appreciate your time. And I have like about 10 questions. Just wanted to go over with you. I'm gonna have a quick interview with you. Just
Okay.
share your thoughts. And this is targeted for my students who's in grade 11 or 12, especially one interested with the engineer program. All right.
Okay, makes sense.
Perfect. Kenny, can you start by telling yourself who you are?
I'm Kenneth. It's my 2A term of mechanical engineering. And I've basically done my first year fully online. So this second year is the first time that I'm actually going on campus. And yeah, it's been pretty different so far. It feels like I'm in first year again. But I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully I can give some advice on, getting in and
Yeah.
stuff.
And
Yeah.
what school you go to?
What school? I go to University of Waterloo.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
It feels like a first year, right?
yeah,
Because of
definitely does.
yeah. Are you enjoying it?
Oh yeah, it's fun. Definitely. I'd say it's easier than it was when it was online, but in a different way. It's harder in some ways and then easier in some ways. But maybe I'll get into that when you ask me some of the questions.
Sure. Sounds great. Sounds great. Quick questions. What are the like, especially with your program, what are the like ratio between female and male?
I would say like 30% females,
No? Okay.
70% males.
Yeah.
Better than I thought, but
Yeah.
still not that much. Still not that much.
Yeah. Back in my days, it was like a 90 to 10%.
Yeah,
That's how I
would
felt.
assume. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so here we go. We have about 10 questions I want to get in touch with you. And the
Okay.
first question is, why mechanical engineering?
So me personally, I would want to do something with like sustainability, something with maybe in the energy sector. And
Mhm.
since I'm not sure like too specifically what I wanted to do, mechanical engineering seemed to be like the most broad, and like it can accompany like many different things. You can do mechanical engineering if you want to be like a car engineer or like an aerospace engineer, or if you want to work in power plants, or you want to make machinery or even just code. Like I feel like that mechanical engineering is pretty broad compared to the other engineerings. Um, and personally, it was like the closest thing that I could see to like a general engineering course, which Waterloo does not offer. So yeah, so I decided to choose that. So maybe when I can learn more about the different types of specialties out there, I'll be able to like have more choices. Yeah.
Okay. Before you actually apply for that program, was there any like a specific career that you wanted to take or something
At the
broad?
time, no. I actually applied to every single school, like Toronto, Queens, McMaster, all for general engineering because I wasn't sure. But Waterloo does have this thing where you can take a quiz, and then it'll like match you up with the engineering that they think is the best.
Oh, okay.
I actually didn't get mechanical engineering from them, but I got geological engineering. But there was no, I didn't want to do that. But I think mechanical engineering was like third on the list after I finished the quiz. So yeah, that is a pretty good tool if like your students want to try that because
Yeah, I think that's
it
great. Great
yeah,
idea.
yeah. It's like 10 or 20 questions, and then it'll give you like a rundown on exactly what each engineering is, and then some courses that you can take from that engineering. So that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
pretty cool.
Sounds very interesting. Let's share the link with us
Oh yeah, sure.
after
I'll
this
share.
video.
Yeah.
Great. Like when you were going over this course, was there like something else that you wanted to do beside mechanical engineering or within the mechanical engineering?
Um, when you apply to Waterloo, they actually give you a second choice in case you get deferred based on your grades or if you get rejected basically from your first choice.
Hmm.
And I did choose nanotechnology, nanotech engineering, which is it's a specialty at Waterloo. I don't know many schools offer it, but it sounded really cool. It's basically like nanotech. Oh, sorry. Basically nanotech, and but it focused a lot more on chemistry,
Chemistry.
which I'm not too strong at chemistry, but
Mhm.
I would say a lot of engineering do require chemistry. But that was another one that I was thinking of doing. But when I got accepted to mechanical engineering, they didn't give me a choice.
Oh,
So that was the
really?
only thing that was, yeah, that I didn't understand. But
So either you have to take the nano or mechanical engineering.
yeah, so like they only give you that second choice if you get rejected. They don't even allow you to pick it if you get accepted for your
Oh,
first
wow.
choice. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I see. I see.
And then other than that, I basically just applied to engineering everywhere. If it wasn't for that, I probably would have just gone into math
Right.
because math is really broad as well. You can do a lot of things.
Right. Right. Actually, that was my next question. If you had a
Oh,
second choice, so what else do you want to apply?
yeah, so
So
math,
Mhm.
I actually had one of my friends did go into math, and she also did it because it was like super broad. She wasn't sure what to do, but she actually ended up dropping out of math after the first year. She said it was really hard and like not what she expected. But I mean, as far as I've heard, at least in Canada, studying math is actually pretty, it's pretty good. Like it opens a lot of doors. Like I've heard in other countries that studying math is not that prestigious. But in Canada, if you study math, you could be, you can do accounting, you could do finance, you could do, computer science even. Like you could do a lot of things in the faculty of math. So I'd say it's not a bad choice either.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. There's so many things you can do with math.
Yeah, yeah.
And my best friend, he went to Waterloo for actual science.
Oh, okay.
And he's having an amazing career. He's absolutely loving it. And a lot of people, his colleagues in risk management, one of my another close friends, he also studied actual science from the Waterloo, and he's doing the risk management for government projects. So there are a lot of
money.
Yeah. Okay. If you graduate with a mechanical engineering from Waterloo, what type of a career job do you expect to have?
Personally, compared to other students, I haven't had many industry-specific co-op opportunities yet. So I think my answer could change, but for now, I would think some sort of engineering advisor for like the energy sector. I think would be cool, especially for a lot of companies that are nowadays trying to like shift towards more sustainable, more renewable stuff. But like, so advisors for that, maybe whether they want to do it for PR or like whatever, but like a difference is a difference. So that would be a job that I'd be interested in. Another thing is I actually do think that like working at a car company would be cool, especially now that like so many companies are going towards like the electric cars and stuff. Like I've seen so many, like they're all like on the wave, they're riding the Tesla wave. So that would
everyone wants to be a Tesla, right?
Yeah, everyone wants to be a Tesla like 5 years after the Tesla. So
exactly.
I think that would be cool too. And yeah, I mentioned to you like solar panels a while back, but like the more research I do on it, like Canada is not a great place to pursue a career in solar panels. You would either have to go to the US or some sort of maybe even European country. It's not a big thing in Canada.
Is that
much
right?
less than I thought, due to weather and also just how kind of like how like Canada's like so concentrated. Like everyone's in Toronto, and then everyone's in Vancouver, and then no one else lives anywhere else. So it's like not really practical for them. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Tell us about your first year or this year. What was the biggest surprise?
Okay, so if I want to begin with my first year, 1A was really hard. I'd say like the jump from high school, even though the courses in 1A were basically like high school, it was like physics, chemistry, math, like calculus, all that stuff. It was like a step above for sure. A lot of assignments and midterms were super hard, and like I felt like my entire life was just school at the time. Wow. Even then, like I guess it's because it's engineering, like I was still at the bottom like 20% of my class. It's pretty insane. I guess other people like took it well, but I think it was definitely more of a mental game, especially online, more than like how smart you are. It's just if you can get through, the next day, you can deal with a bad mark, you can deal with like missing an assignment because you have no time. Like it's just you have to like manage yourself well. And then in comparison, after about like a month and a half in person, it's much different because when you go in person for class, once you go home, you've already done the lectures. Like you don't have to watch an online lecture. So it's like you concentrated a lot of you have a lot less work to do than you'd think, because you've done all the lectures in person, and like you're forced to focus for like those 4 hours. Like you can't procrastinate, nothing else is distracting you. You can't pause it either. So everything is going exactly like everyone has to finish all the lectures in 4 hours. Like that's what in-person feels like. And there is one thing for mechanical engineering that I found out about this year, is that after first year, so second year to fifth year, they are not allowed to grade you on assignments.
Oh.
Apparently this is only for mechanical and mechatronics engineering. I had no idea about it. So if they give you assignments, it's only to study, and they're not allowed to mark it. So
interesting.
Yeah, it takes the load off, but also makes the midterms and finals worth a lot more.
Oh, wow.
So it's trade-off.
Yeah. Scary.
Yeah, scary trade-off, but yeah.
Oh, interesting. So after doing like almost 1 year and a half, like this is like a first semester over the second year, right? Do you feel like you made a right choice?
I think I made a good choice. I don't know if I made the right choice. Sometimes I do think about switching, but the more I think about switching, the more I'm like unsure what to even switch to. So like that's kind of my dilemma. Like I'd rather just stay than take the time to switch. That's okay. Yeah, the only thing is like they're pretty good at making you like your classes, especially. So 1A is like all the engineers take the same courses, so like really similar at least. And then like maybe in your like some of the classes in 1A and 1B, they like go into your specialty, like mechanical engineering, and they try to like sell it to you. Like they give you the fun classes at the beginning.
Oh,
so that was
right?
like they give you design classes, like all this stuff, like you can make projects, and then like they don't have those classes again, and then you just go into 2A and you're back to like the study, like the calculations and stuff. So I don't know if it's that's making me question it, because engineering's like the same. Yeah, but it's definitely like again back to like reality, just studying a lot.
Right. So right choice, but good choice for sure.
Yeah, definitely good choice. It could be worse.
Yeah, for sure. You know what? As you know, I do like career coaching for recent grads, and a lot of students who just graduated realize that this is not the right field for them, and they regret that they haven't stopped and thought about it during their academic year. Right. They were just kind of forced to finish the school first. And then just realize, is there something else? And it's kind of too late to change to their career.
It's kind of impossible to know, because when you're in high school and you apply to like Waterloo, like the prestigious name kind of like clouds your judgment. Also, like if you get accepted to all your universities and like Waterloo is the hardest one and you get that one, like it's really hard to reject that offer.
Exactly. Who wouldn't?
Exactly. So like they do a good job of making it so that you really want to go. And then when you're in, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, it's pretty cool, but other universities are probably similar.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. What do you expect to happen in the next 3 to 5 years?
I expect I'm going to get more co-op opportunities, and like that's like the main selling point of Waterloo is like the mandatory co-op. Getting experience, like figuring out what I want to do, like because I would be working a real job in like real industry. So yeah, figuring out what I want to do, maybe figure out what my passion is, so I can be more driven to find more co-op jobs, to study harder, to like work towards some goal. And also I just expect to learn a lot. Like I actually enjoyed like learning some of this new stuff. So like I hate the tests and stuff, but like learning a lot of these like kind of like industry givens that like you kind of take for granted. Like for example, like electricity, circuits, materials, a lot of stuff that you just take for granted. And I realized how smart these people were. Like everything around us is like made by brilliant people. Definitely gives me like a deeper appreciation. So I'm looking forward to like learning more. Like I'm actually enjoying the learning part of university for sure.
there are a lot of students in grade 11, 12. They don't really know what program they should apply. A lot of them just apply courses by their average.
Right.
That's the first thing. Any suggestions for them?
Try and see every school as like exactly the same school. Like I will say, to be honest, other than maybe U of T, like there is not that much difference between all of the schools. So the main thing you should focus on is just like what the program offers, and also like just look at the specific courses. I'd say that's something I didn't do, but I would definitely suggest, if you're looking at like mechanical engineering, for example, like look at every single course you take from first to at least third or fourth year, and see if they sound interesting to you. And if they don't, then like as much as your grades look like you could get in, or it could be a cool challenge to go for, like don't apply for it, because you'll ultimately be disappointed. Like you'll ride the high of getting accepted, and then it'll just be like you have to go through these 4 years learning this stuff.
Yeah,
so
I think that's very important. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Looking at the courses, and definitely location of the university. As much as like it seems like kind of petty, but like if your friends are going to the same university, like definitely isolation is a pretty big problem when you're at a university, and it might make you regret your decisions. So just think about that, whether you are confident that you'll make a lot of new friends, or you think that you'll be lonely, because for sure your mental health is first. Like if you can't work, then what's the point?
Exactly. Yeah.
Shut down. And yeah, maybe look at the city of the school. Like I had not looked at Kitchener before, and to be honest, Kitchener is pretty dead. Like the university is the full city, so if you want to hang out with your friends, like the only thing you can do is go eat. Yeah. There's not really much else to do. Good and bad, I guess. Yeah. It
hasn't been changed for the last 15, 20 years.
Yeah, it hasn't really changed. Oh, and I will say something I didn't know. Waterloo is definitely one of the ugliest campuses out there.
Is that right?
If you care about the aesthetic, yeah. Other than the two engineering buildings, every other building is really ugly. So if you care about like campus aesthetic, like maybe look into it a little more. They're all cubes. It's all really like depressing cubes.
Wow. Okay.
That's like
that
a lot
hasn't been changed.
Yeah, they definitely think a lot. I think I spent more time on like the admissions form than actually looking up the university, which I think was a mistake. But it's a trap that a lot of people fall into, especially because Waterloo, they tell you start the admissions form really early. But once you start, like you're full committed to like typing all of that up. So they kind of want you to like not look too much into the school, I guess, and like focus on writing up your essays and stuff. But definitely look into the school a lot more. I think that's a regret that I have.
I see. Thank you. They're just about to start with the OUAC application form in November, right?
Yeah.
Any last comment you can share with the students?
If you can, if your budget allows, because I know it's $50 per application, apply to many programs. Especially like don't think that you have to apply to only one program in one school. That's kind of what I thought. But even if it takes a long time to like write the application again, like apply to multiple. Like if you want to do, mechanical engineering, but you also want to do like maybe computer science or even like health science, like just apply to it, because you only go through high school once. You're only gonna get this opportunity once, and try and make it so that you'll have the least regrets as possible.
I think that's a very good point. Yeah. How many schools did you apply for? How many programs?
I applied for one program per school, and I applied to, I think, 6 or 7 schools.
Okay.
Yeah. Which I shouldn't have. I kind of just only applied to engineering, but I wish I applied to more things so I could have learned more. But
yeah, having more options, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. More options than not, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think I applied for like 9 different.
9? Wow.
Yeah. And then my first choice was Ryerson, broadcasting.
Oh, really?
That was the only one I didn't get in.
Oh no.
So I went to UT. But yeah. Well, thanks for all the feedback. Like it's really, really challenging for high school students to start a new life. Just thinking about it is very stressful too, right?
It is very stressful. I basically I said what I would have told myself, in grade 12. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah. That's exactly what I needed from you.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Man.
no worries.
Okay, I'm gonna stop recording now.
Okay.